and we've looked at our ubiquinol supplement, and today we're going to talk about Neurobalance. So this is a product that is a blend of zinc, magnesium and vitamin B6, and the product was originally formulated as a co-therapy for neurodevelopmental disorders, so to go alongside a product called Vajipa that we recommend for the treatment of conditions such as ADHD, dyspraxia, dyslexia and autistic spectrum. And it's a product that has been formulated really to aid in normal neurotransmitter production and function. So just as a bit of an intro for those of you who aren't up to scratch, I guess, with your neurotransmission. So neurotransmission, we know it's the process by which signaling molecules are released by neurons that then leave and bind to activate receptors on another neuron. And it's really the way that we communicate information throughout the brain and body. The whole process starts off by the synthesis of the neurotransmitter itself. We've got a nice little diagram up in the corner there. You won't be able to see that particularly, but I'm going to go into I've got it slightly bigger on another slide coming up, so you can have a look at it in a minute. So we synthesize our neurotransmitter, which is then stored in specialized granule or vesicles within the axon terminal, so this little area here. And release of the neurotransmitter doesn't actually occur until we get a calcium influx, and this is caused by an action potential. So we get a sort of electrical signaling that goes down the nerve, which then forces the neurotransmitter out into the synapse. Neurotransmitter then binds and activates to a receptor within the postsynaptic membrane, and this then shoots off another electrical impulse. Once this whole process is done, the neurotransmitter is either destroyed by enzymes or is taken back into the terminal from which it came from, and it can be reused, or it's degraded there and removed in alternative ways. So we have a variety of different neurotransmitters. So we've got acetylcholine here, which is made from acetyl coenzyme A and choline. We also have a variety of amino acid derived neurotransmitters such as gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA. We've also got glycine, glutamate, aspartame. I haven't got them all on here. There's only room on the slide for so many. We also have a variety of neuropeptides such as oxytocin and vasopressin. And then we have our monoamines such as adrenaline, noradrenaline. We've got histamine, dopamine and serotonin. Some of these are included here. And then we have neurotransmitters that aren't usually kind of considered to be neurotransmitters, such as adenosine, ATP, for example. And then we've got a variety of lipids and gases such as nitric oxide and the cannabinoids. So we've got an awful lot of neurotransmitters. And the first thing to say is that many or most proteins, neurotransmitters are derived from amino acids. So first thing we need to do is make sure that we are getting a good source of protein. And when we are considering neurotransmission within children, then we need to make sure that we're feeding our children a good source of protein, good quality protein, and that sort of refers to the top level there. So instead of feeding children chicken nuggets, we feed them proper chicken. Instead of burgers, we give them the proper beef, and pork chops instead of sausages. It's surprising just how poor quality of diet can really affect just the type of protein that our children are getting. And not surprisingly, actually, the kind of products that are going into the manufacture of these chicken nuggets and burgers and sausages and things like that, the quality of the amino acids within them is generally quite poor. They're usually derived from rather nastier cuts of beef, or cuts of meat, sorry. So we need to make sure that we've got a good source of protein. The next thing to look at is the variety of vitamins and minerals that are required to convert and synthesize our neurotransmitters, and this leads us into the product itself. So as I said, it's a blend of magnesium, zinc and vitamin B6, and the reasoning behind that is the role that these minerals and vitamins play in the conversion through of our neurotransmitters. So for example, if we're looking at the conversion of serotonin, we need magnesium, zinc and vitamin B6, and again it plays heavily through the production of dopamine, acetylcholine and GABA. And so these neurotransmitters have a variety of different functions within the body. So serotonin, for example, is heavily involved in gut function, learning, memory, plays a vital role in mood, pain regulation, sleep, temperature regulation, and so on. This converts through to melatonin, which is involved in immune function, libido control, and probably better known for its role in sleep modulation. We have dopamine, which is heavily involved in attention, behavior, cognition, pleasure and reward, sleep, mood, memory and learning. We have adrenaline and noradrenaline, both involved in the fight or flight mechanism, so our sort of way that we control stress response within the body. Mental focus, mental arousal and sleep, for example. We have acetylcholine involved in dreaming, memory, controls muscle tone, and again is involved in sleep. And then GABA on the end of the line there is an anxiety modulator, but also involved in muscle tone and sleep. So if you have deficiency in either zinc, B6 or magnesium, then you're going to get impact on neurotransmitter function in itself, on neurotransmitter production within the body. However, neurotransmitter production itself is incredibly important, but neurotransmitters actually are required to be able to bind to a receptor to be able to exert function. And in addition, the physiological effect of neurotransmitter is not only dependent on the activity of the receptor, but also on the transporters, and these are the membrane-spanning proteins that pump neurotransmitters out of the synapse back into the presynaptic cell and into the storage areas for later release. And the transporter protein, by recycling, actually regulates the concentration of the neurotransmitter within the synapse, and then this has an effect on the receiving neuron, so it affects the whole neurotransmitter process or neurotransmitting process. So here we have our two cells again, so we have the one here and we have another one here. So here we have GABA, for example, here, and we have dopamine. They're released from the vesicles within the axon of the nerve into the synapse, and they either have then the ability to bind to the receptor, after which they then are recycled back through transporters and then restored into the vesicles, or they are degraded by various types of degrading enzymes. For example, monoamine oxidase enzymes are responsible for breaking down many of the different types of neurotransmitters. Of the vitamins and minerals, we know that zinc, magnesium and vitamin B6 play key roles in neurotransmitter synthesis, but we also know that zinc and magnesium particularly also play a role as neuromodulators by affecting the function of neurotransmitter receptors and transporter proteins. Zinc is heavily involved in binding of transporter proteins, for example, so regulating those is key too. So within Neurobalance, we have magnesium, zinc and vitamin B6. These are the key nutrients that we know are required not only for synthesis but also for the function via receptor transport and transporter proteins. We know that deficiency in one or more of these nutrients can significantly impair normal neurotransmitter production and function. In addition, vitamin B6 is required for transport or accumulation of magnesium into cells and tissues. Magnesium itself is actually required for proper functioning of alkaline phosphatase, which is the enzyme that enables the absorption of vitamin B6. And zinc itself is also needed to convert the inactive form of vitamin B6 to its active form. So magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6 actually play a really rather nice sort of synergistic role in each other's sort of uptake and absorption and activity. When it comes to looking at neurodevelopmental disorders, there's increasing evidence that there is a breakdown in several neurotransmitter pathways, particularly dopamine, serotonin, and GABA. We know that magnesium deficiency is common in neurodevelopmental disorders, especially ADHD. We know that magnesium levels correlate significantly with distractibility and excitability symptoms. And it's also been shown that magnesium levels are directly associated with hyperactivity and sleep disturbances within individuals with ADHD. There's also, quite interesting, there's a poor conversion rate of vitamin B6 to its active form. This seems to be key in autistic spectrum disorders, for example. B6 and magnesium deficiency also result in accumulation of tryptophan metabolite, and this itself is known to be associated with disturbances in neurotransmission. So deficiency in these key nutrients are known to drive many of the symptoms associated with neurodevelopmental disorders. Not surprisingly, supplementing with magnesium, B6 and zinc has been shown to improve many of the symptoms associated with ADHD, for example. There were certainly many very early studies that have shown improvement. 2006 study here that was using magnesium and B6 in combination, using a dose of 6 milligrams per kilogram per day of magnesium and 0.6 milligrams per kilogram per day of vitamin B6. And this study showed significant reductions in hyperactivity, aggressiveness, and improvements in attention. And the same group had earlier shown very similar findings, improvements in attention, behavior, and emotional problems in children with ADHD. And a 1997 study also showed, and this was a magnesium-only supplement, 200 milligrams a day, again significant reductions in hyperactivity and improved freedom from distractibility. So we know that magnesium has a calming effect within the body. As I mentioned, zinc as well, deficient in children with ADHD. And we also know that certain artificial food colorings can lead to zinc deficiency, which can obviously exacerbate symptoms. And this is just a small slide to show some results from a study early 90s, 1990 or late 90s, sorry, 1990. 22 hyperactive males were, for some reason, fed 50 milligrams of tartrazine, and then they observed zinc levels, and they found that serum zinc levels decreased, urine levels increased, and in combination there were deteriorations in both behavioral and emotional symptoms. So we know that there are certain nasty ingredients out there that can impact on nutrient levels, especially zinc. So it's not surprising that elimination diets can be quite successful as well. And again, zinc has been widely studied as an add-on treatment in ADHD, with findings in improvements in attention, behavior, and emotional problems, again, throughout a number of studies. So in regards to neurotransmission, we also know that there are several neurodegenerative diseases that are the result of lack of neurotransmitter function within the body. Now, this can be caused by nerve damage as a consequence of dysregulated inflammation, resulting in scarring of nerve tissue, which has been caused by protein aggregation, such as Lewy bodies, beta amyloid, for example. Where you get scarring, you get lower amounts or you get cell death of nerves. And then with that, you obviously get low or impact on neurotransmitter synthesis and function. We also know that zinc deficiency can actually cause neural cell death, and we know that zinc has critical functions within the brain. Patients with Alzheimer's, for example, are often found to be zinc deficient, and magnesium deficiency also has been shown to be correlated with patients with mild or moderate Alzheimer's disease. We'd also recommend this product for women's health, so hormonal health. Again, magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6 are often shown to be depleted in women who use oral contraceptives, women using HRT, and also in postmenopausal women. And magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6 are commonly supplemented, certainly in postmenopausal women, with specific benefits on various symptoms associated with that. So if we have a quick look at the key ingredients within Neurobalance, and just a quick explanation as to why we've chosen the ingredients. We've chosen zinc methionine. This is an ingredient that offers superior bioavailability, antioxidant and immune-enhancing properties compared to other forms of zinc. In addition to its role in neurotransmitter synthesis and function, zinc is also heavily involved in cell replication, immune function. It's also involved in essential fatty acid metabolism. So zinc deficiency, for example, can impair the body's natural ability to manufacture long-chain fatty acids. So where you get omega-3 deficiency, you quite often find that there's zinc deficiency there as well. And actually that correlates also with B6 and magnesium. Magnesium citrate. When choosing magnesium, there are obviously lots of different types of magnesium products out there. Magnesium absorption is generally quite poor. However, those forms of magnesium that dissolve well in water are more likely to be absorbed in the gut than less soluble forms. And so we chose magnesium citrate because it's considered to be highly bioavailable. A lot of common supplements will contain magnesium oxide, which can have uptake or absorbable benefits of as low as 4%, so it's quite low. So magnesium citrate is the more bioavailable of all the magnesiums out there. Magnesium is also involved in energy production, heavily involved in nerve and muscle function, adrenal function, essential fatty acid metabolism, as I've said, calcium metabolism, and it plays a key role in vitamin B6 absorption, as I've mentioned as well. Pyridoxal 5-phosphate delivers the body-ready form of B6, so there's no need to convert B6 to the active form. B6 is required for transport or accumulation of magnesium into cells and tissues, so it's having a benefits on a magnesium uptake as well. B6 is involved in protein metabolism, again, essential fatty acid metabolism, energy production, and so on. So that's our key 3 ingredients in Neurobalance. This is a table just showing the components within, or the amount of active ingredients within the product. As I said, we originally formulated this as an add-on treatment for children with ADHD, although it can be used for other health areas. So we have formulated it to be very small, easy to swallow tablets, and we've dosed it so that we take into account different children's ages when dosing. So we have zinc methionine, 14 milligrams per 2 tablets. Actually, there's just a small error there, so that should be dose, amount per dose, and that's serving size 2 tablets. So it's 14 milligrams per 2 tablets. And we have magnesium, 60 milligrams per 2 tablets, and we have vitamin B6 at 10 milligrams per 2 tablets. And we can move on to the next slide. We've got our directions for use. So we recommend children 4 years and up. So 4 to 8 years, we recommend 2 tablets daily. Children between 9 and 15 should take 4. And children age 16 plus and adults can take up to 6 tablets daily. Again, for optimal results, we suggest that these should be taken with food and split into 2 doses per day, and not to be exceeded unless advised by a healthcare professional. Again, with our general warnings and contraindications, we suggest that pregnant women, sorry, I was just reading the box there, sorry. Pregnant and lactating women should really consult their doctor before taking any food supplements. We don't know of any drug or nutrient interactions associated with these ingredients either. Again, we try to make our products as free from as possible, so they're free from dairy, gluten, lactose, soya, yeast, artificial colorings and flavorings. They've not been tested on animals, and they're non-GMO. So this is the final slide. This is just the summary of the product. So we've blended magnesium, zinc and B6. It's formulated to aid in normal neurotransmitter production and function. Formulated specifically for neurodevelopmental, as an add-on treatment for neurodevelopmental disorders, but we do recommend that it can be used to support hormone balance, immune function. Also, it's very good for sort of cell cycle, DNA and protein synthesis. Incredibly good for sleep. Also supports a healthy mood and has anti-anxiety benefits. The ingredients are highly bioavailable, so we've gone for bioavailable ingredients, and we also have a sustained release, so for enhanced absorption and tissue distribution. We do advise split dosing, as I've said, and nice, small, easy to swallow tablets. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions they'd like to ask, or as I've said, the webinar will be available on YouTube for anybody who wants to have a catch-up. These are my details. I'm just getting some questions in the box.